get my PowerPoint up properly, and then all right, get that up there, and then turn things on, and just get this ball rolling. Make turn my music off also. Give me a second. Thank goodness Zoom finally added music to this thing here. Where is my apps? Apps. Here we are, apps. Okay, so music and stop. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right, people. Let me turn my apps off now so I can see my screen afterwards. What is the button for turning this thing off here? Pop out and then shut down. Okay, perfect. Great. Okay, so here we go and share. Here we go. My PowerPoint. All right, perfect. Everybody see that? Anybody say yes in the chat box or something? Just so everybody, just confirm everybody can see that. Somebody put a Y in the chat box, please. You can see my screen.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
we
perfect.
can.
Okay, so all right, so now I'm going to mute everybody here, and then start. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining me on the May edition of How to Attract High Quality Clients from LinkedIn for 2024. My name is Alan Fine. I'll be your host today. Once again, I'm going to give you tons of great information, not tons of fluff. It's going to be real actionable stuff here. And the first thing I want to do is, if you're not my connection on LinkedIn already, please send me a connection request. Here is my LinkedIn profile address, and I'd love to be connected to you so we can help you out. You can follow my content. I'm working on some pretty cool content right now. If you want to see it, you'll get notified by becoming my first connection. So let me just pop this into the chat box over here. All right, there we go here. Thank you. Everyone in the meeting, sorry. And okay, perfect, great. So the first thing is some house rules here. We want to make the webinar great. So I want you all to participate, communicate, have fun, stay to the very, very end. I'll be giving you some post-webinar special gifts at the very, very end. And also, we've all been on webinars beforehand, right? And we've all seen webinars where people go on there and no one participates. And it's painful, man, to watch somebody do a webinar where no one's typing in the chat box and no one's doing anything at all for the person who's presenting it. I'm taking my time for you, so I'd appreciate so much if you'd participate by asking questions, by typing Y or N in the chat box when I ask you to. So if everybody's on board with this, please, first thing, type a Y in the chat box. I appreciate it very much, and I'll wait till everybody does that. There we go. Perfect. Keep going, people. Everybody. Right. Thank you so much. And that's going to make this so much more fun for everybody else because I'm going to be giving you some great information here. So the first thing is, who am I and why am I qualified to teach you? Well, I've been in digital marketing 26 plus years. I've owned my own business since then. Beforehand, I was doing website design and overall social media marketing. About 17 years ago, I niched into LinkedIn and it changed my life. I'm also the father of two beautiful girls, and I've helped my clients generate millions of dollars in sales over the last 16 and a half years. I have some, once again, great information today. So take lots of notes and, write down your questions, but please save them to the very, very end. I'm going to do a long open Q&A at the very, very end, answering all your questions in detail, giving you great information. And really, isn't that what it's all about, really, right? You can go on these things and get training from a training company or buy a course, whatever. But until you can ask the specific questions for them on LinkedIn, as far as, how things work, because one thing that really bugs me about LinkedIn is that I'm not sure if you guys have seen this also. I'm sure you have, but you're trying to do something on LinkedIn. You go on Google, you type something in, and then you go to a LinkedIn page, and the information's old or outdated. And that's why I think I've done so well is because LinkedIn does such a crappy job of putting out their own information out there. And don't believe me as far as who I am or what I say. Look at my 143 recommendations on LinkedIn. That's one of the first things I do for my clients. Write this down here. Starting today or tomorrow, I'm going to reach out to at least 5 or 10 first connections that I have and ask them for a recommendation, because we've all gone on Amazon and bought something. And, type Y in the chat box again if you looked at reviews before you bought something. Let's take a look here for a second. Anybody typed in why? Oh, yes. Yes. So reviews are really important, right? And reviews can massively influence, right, who you work with or what you buy. So, let's say you have like two LinkedIn people you're trying to possibly hire. One has like 5 recommendations and I have 143. Who makes more sense to hire? Someone who has all this information or feedback from clients? Even got one guy, one of my famous little things here, Freddie Ravel, the only white guy ever in Earth, Wind, and Fire, was a client of mine. So next thing is, why LinkedIn? Well, the first thing is the social media platform hit a milestone back in November 2023, cracked 1 billion. And why is that important? Because as you'll see on my website and what I do for my clients, let's go to leadwizard.ca. How would you like a never ending stream of leads from LinkedIn? Because LinkedIn is constantly adding brand new people on a regular basis and has like I said, a database of 1 billion people, guess what? I believe personally, and I can prove this because I've been booked up on my calendar for the last 16 years. I've had 5 to 15 brand new meetings on my calendar, and my clients have had that also after I start working with them and after about a month of working with them and fixing their profile and all the messaging stuff we got to do. But imagine not having to worry about lead generation ever again. Wouldn't that be amazing? I'm telling you, that gives me great peace of mind for myself personally, knowing that the social media platform that I've worked really hard for is paying off. Almost got bounced off at one time. So anybody who needs help, anybody help, I even have a get out of LinkedIn jail service for people who have had their profiles suspended or temporarily suspended, or sometimes what happened to me was LinkedIn put a hidden restriction on my account where I could see my account, but no one else could. And they didn't tell me about it even, which really is annoying when LinkedIn doesn't tell you that stuff, right? So that's why I think you should be on LinkedIn. I think you should be taking it seriously. I think you should be investing money into LinkedIn. Out of all the social media platforms, Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and X and all those different things, I found personally that LinkedIn has been the best bet and the lowest cost investment for the highest return. So LinkedIn was created in 2003 by Reid Hoffman and Alan Blue and CEO Jeff Weiner, acquired by Microsoft, $26 billion in 2016. Imagine working on something for only 13 years and someone buys you up $26 billion. 1 billion users, I said November 2023. And out of all the social media platforms I ever used, LinkedIn, the only one that has consistently provided me leads. And I'm talking about, I've tried everything. I've tried Facebook ads and Google AdWords. I've tried all the other social media platforms. LinkedIn, trust me, if you're thinking about, finally getting in there and doing it, that is a great thing because also 44% of LinkedIn users earn more than 80K a year. And why is that important? Because out of all the social media platforms out there, LinkedIn has the highest per capita user wealth, which means if you're pitching people on LinkedIn, they can afford your services. And that's why I think LinkedIn is the best bet. Does it sound familiar in your business? No more low hanging fruit, empty calendar, or you're talking to people on LinkedIn and you're booking meetings with them, but it's more of a meet and greet, tire kickers, right? And it's just you're frustrated. So, and this is one of the things you want to write down here. I believe there are 4 pillars of success on LinkedIn for 2024, right? And I've done this because I've run dozens of successful campaigns for my clients, which have given me the feedback and information from the people on LinkedIn who I've talked to over the years, tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of people. I finally cracked 30,000 on LinkedIn myself. So now people are just following me. And these are the 4 things on LinkedIn, which I believe you need to make sure that you're doing perfectly well for 2024. And that is, sorry, I muted everybody again, a LinkedIn profile that convinces your prospect that you're the right person. Other people, as I do more and more of these, I'm seeing more and more people on LinkedIn starting to take it seriously and invest time and money into it. And trust me, if you're not doing that also, your other people, other competitors are doing that, and they're stealing your leads. So that's very, very important. If you're not taking LinkedIn seriously, other people are taking your money and taking your leads. The next thing is consistency. Are you constantly building your list on LinkedIn by adding either followers or first connections? Are you sending out connection requests every single week on a consistent basis? And also, not just sending out connection requests, are you building relationships, not just adding new contacts? One thing I can say as a measurement to figure out if you're doing that, let me ask you and ask yourself personally, how many of you have spoken to every single one of your connections on LinkedIn or messaged every single one of your first connections in the last year? If you say no to both of those, then probably you have tons of people on your following that you never reached out to, never talked to, never used, like never leveraged the database. I'm not sure if you ever guys have heard this. There's a saying in marketing: the money's in the list. Well, LinkedIn has that list. It's just a matter of you guys to start niching into it. So really, really important to have start talking to your first connections. Next thing is, do you have an authentic content strategy and content engagement strategy? And I'll break both those down here. So content marketing is probably one of the most important underrated things on LinkedIn. Videos, posts, polls, those are the things that can talk to your audience and tell them, hey, this person is either a great person to work with or they're really, really smart and you should hire them. Also, content engagement strategy. So on LinkedIn, pull up my LinkedIn page here or the feed, right? So LinkedIn, if you don't get a decent amount of likes and comments here, this one here about the crazy Supreme Court in USA, who I think is totally messed up now. I think they're too far right. But if you don't get a good amount of likes and then comments and possibly even shares or reposts on LinkedIn on a regular basis, the LinkedIn algorithm says that your content's not important and shrinks your audience of who they send your post out to 10%. So let's say you have 5,000 connections on LinkedIn, only 500 people are going to get that post in their feed, and they got to be on LinkedIn when they do it. So really, really important that you have a content engagement strategy to get people to like, comment, and reshare your posts, right? And then last thing is, are you using, like I'm using today, the LinkedIn event platform to create your own LinkedIn events, right? Here's my LinkedIn event platform. Here's the, where's the thing here? Here it is, right there. So here's the LinkedIn event platform, and here's my LinkedIn event. And, very, very important that you understand how the LinkedIn event system works. A couple of things, and I'll talk you more about this later on, but a couple of things that LinkedIn doesn't do is when someone registers on here, they're not registering on your Zoom link, and they're not adding this to their calendar. So I have a couple of tips for my clients that when they join me, I tell them how to get those things done automatically to make sure people actually show up to the webinar like you guys are doing today, right? Because we've all thing that, we've all seen that. I see
Hey,
you raising your
Alan,
hand, Sean. Yep.
we're not seeing what when you say, can you see, let me show you this? We're not seeing it.
Okay, make sure my screen then this time as opposed to just the things here. See it now? You see it
Yes,
now?
now.
Okay, great. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Appreciate that. Okay, just sorry about that. Okay, so getting back to what I was saying beforehand, you need to be using the LinkedIn event system because that's one of the primary ways I find I can educate my clients. And I'm not sure if everybody heard this phrase beforehand. It's about 20, maybe 30 years old even, coined by a guy named Harv T. Eker with great marketing mind. It's called edutainment. It's entertaining you people and having fun with them while you educate them also. And I find that this kind of marketing is probably one of the most strongest forms of marketing out there because it allows possibly your people who you're working with or want to work with to see who you are, to see that you're a nice person and you have lots of great information. Next thing is it all starts with your LinkedIn profile. So that's first we're going to talk about profiles, right? More than a business card. Starting to take some great profiles, right? Here's here's some examples of like profile makeovers I've done for clients. So you can see this on the page. I'll put this in the chat box on Zoom, right? You can see different profile makeovers to see what a profile beforehand looks like and to see what a profile after looks like. And hopefully you can all see my PowerPoint. Just someone type in the chat box yes for a second, just to make sure you see my PowerPoint right now. Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate Nancy. Appreciate guys. See, that's great when everybody participates, right? Also, are you growing your audience, right? I'm going to be showing you ChatGPT today. Oh, that should be just T, not the Y there. Because many of my clients struggle with creating content or figuring what to say. And I found that using AI, right, to a certain degree, really makes a difference on how I can quickly create content for myself and my clients. And I'll be showing you that today, right? And like I said beforehand, if you don't take your profile seriously and take LinkedIn seriously and you want to grow your business, guess what? Your competition is, and they're stealing your leads. And then you also want to be building a massive following on LinkedIn. If you haven't paid attention to your profile page, people have told me they look at this over here, which is the My Network page, right? And they're thinking whether or not they should accept your connection request right from here, right? They're looking at your profile headshot, and then possibly they're going to your profile itself. Sorry, and I'm hopefully not. Let's find someone who maybe not on the thing here. So, come on, come on, come on. All right. Hopefully, none of the people are on today. Let's find a profile that really doesn't. Okay, so here's it. And I'm sorry, Muhammad, if you're here, but this is what you don't want to do, right? So write this down on your pad of paper. This is one of the biggest lessons I tell my clients on LinkedIn is people want to deal with people, not some nameless faces corporation. So if you don't have a lot about yourself on your profile, guess what? People won't book a meeting with you. If you're wondering why people are accepting your connection request, but then after you message people, no one's getting back to you, no one's replying to you at all ever, it's due to your profile and your content marketing. They think you're going to pitch them and that's it. So they don't trust you. So it's all about trust. Make sure you write that down, right? So, so what's better, this, right? Or having a profile like one of these over here, or having a banner like one of these over here, right? You really got to start thinking about investing some money into LinkedIn, because I'll tell you right now, if you do that, just like me, it'll really pay off for you. I have spent probably $2,000 or $3,000 before I found LinkedIn to be such a great thing on AdWords and Facebook ads and SEO. Every single month, I'm sure some of you guys still are working on SEO for your website, but I was on page 1 of Google for like a year and a half, and I thought, fantastic, I'm doing ethical SEO, white hat only, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm off page 1 of Google to page 2, and I didn't change anything on my website at all. But I'm not sure if you guys know this, Google changes algorithm like 20 times a month. So, why kill myself trying to struggle doing SEO and be on page 1 of Google when LinkedIn is so much easier? And I probably honestly saved myself over $250,000 over the last 16 years. Do the math, three to $3,500 a month probably I was spending, times 12, times 16 and a half years. And you see the numbers, right? So LinkedIn can be such a godsend for you. And you well heard the saying, you only get one chance to make a first impression. You got to make sure you make that first impression count. Make sure your profile rocks. Next thing is your headshot. So many people I've seen have headshots that are okay, but if your headshot, you're not smiling, guess what? You'll get a 30% bump in your connection request acceptances when you put a headshot in there that looks something like one of these here. Smiling, professional, not some creepy smile, but just a really, really authentic, right? So that's really important. LinkedIn will even tell you how optimized your profile is when you go onto it. Where's my profile here again? As you scroll down, you'll see the little bar come up here. See the little thing over here? It'll tell you over here how much your profile is done and what you need to do to add sections to your profile. So it's pretty good that way, just to make sure you fill it out until your profile says Rockstar, or it says All-Star, sorry. And then if you do SEO on LinkedIn, so SEO stands for search engine optimization. Usually it's on Google to optimize your web pages so that someone types a key phrase in Google, like LinkedIn lead generation expert in Calgary, they'll find me, or they'll find me on LinkedIn that way. What SEO means is adding certain phrases on your profile on LinkedIn, like in your title. Here's my first key phrase in my title of what I want people to find me on LinkedIn. And also knowing that I found out recently that the first thing LinkedIn will show you on the search results over here are people in your city. So if you're looking for CEO, as part of your overall strategy for marketing, the first thing people are going to LinkedIn's going to show you are people in your city, and that's why it's showing Calgary on the page over here as far as all the people see Calgary, 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 right? So it goes to your city, and then it goes to how well optimized your profile is on LinkedIn, and you want to put a smattering of these key phrases into your profile on LinkedIn on a regular basis, but not doing something called keyword stuffing. And keyword stuffing is simply putting those key phrases on your profile on a regular basis and putting it through your profile, but it doesn't make like sense as far as reading it goes, right? So very, very important. You put that not only into your profile as far as your headline, but also your about section over here. You need to have those key phrases like this again here, LinkedIn lead generation expert right over here in your profile. To just think backwards. If I was typing into Google what I do and I wanted to find me as a resource to hire me, what would I type in Google? Plumber, doctor, lawyer in Calgary, right? All the things that you can possibly think of, and then do some searches on Google the same way to see what comes up. So, and then find the right key phrases and stick them in your profile, but make sure people can read it. It's readable, right? So those are the thing. Also, people from SEO to my SEO days of doing SEO for people, which I don't do anymore. When I did it, that's the one thing I saw people doing something called keyword stuffing by putting those key phrases, sometimes like hidden text where let's say the page was white, they put it all the very bottom in white text. You couldn't see it even, but it would fool Google. God, I wish the days of getting ranked on page one of Google were easy as beforehand, but they're not. That's why I don't do SEO anymore. I don't care how my website ranks anymore because LinkedIn has shown me that it can provide me, all this great lead generation consistently, like forever. I will never have to worry about until I close my business down about finding leads from LinkedIn. So next thing is what your headline should say, right? Don't use your job title. People don't care if you're the CEO of your business. But the four things people want to know when they come to your profile and look at your cover banner and your overall profile, and once again, write this down. I'll leave it on screen for a few seconds or take a screenshot, is who are you? What do you do? What can you do for me? And especially, this is a big important, and this should be able to roll off your tongue if you are in an elevator and goes, why should I hire you? Why you above anybody else who does what you do? There are hundreds or sometimes tens of thousands of people on LinkedIn I could hire. Why you? So if you don't know that, I recommend you ask your husband, ask your wife, ask your coworkers, have a staff meeting and go, I want, 10 reasons why people should hire us over anybody else on, the internet or on LinkedIn who does what we do, right? So for me, the reason you want to hire me is I've been doing this 16 and a half years. 30,000 connections, 132 recommendations, right? You can see my website looks professional. And that's another thing also. When people are doing the research, so let's say you're doing messaging and your marketing is going pretty good on LinkedIn, and someone's finally possibly going to book a meeting with you. Write this down for yourselves. These are the three things they're doing: looking at your personal profile on LinkedIn, looking at your company page, and looking at your website. So make sure that all three things look similar colors, similar themes, similar wording, because if people go to those three properties and see different things totally on all three properties, different messaging, your profile says one thing because you haven't updated your company page or your website or vice versa, people get confused. And guess what? Write this down for yourself. A confused mind says no. and they won't book a meeting with you. And that's why you're wondering why you're getting people accepting your connection request, but no one's messaging you back at all, and no one's booking a meeting with you because they're looking at your stuff and going, well, the profile says one thing, the company page says something else, the website looks like crap. And it just, right? And think backwards. Would you hire somebody? It's like going to somebody and saying, what's your website? And people saying, I don't have one, right? I just wouldn't hire somebody like that. It won't, it's all about trust, right? So next thing is about your about section. And once again, making sure that you have a good about section and a couple of emojis, your Calendly links might be in there possibly. I have my Calendly link not only there, but also my contact info. And also people, when's the last time you updated your contact info? How many times have you gone onto someone's profile and clicked on their website or clicked on their contact info and it's old? It doesn't work. It's outdated. So, if you go to the website like this over here and you go, oh, the website's not working at all, is that going to inspire confidence to hire that person? Of course not, it is, right? So make sure this information is updated properly. I'll have to come to your house and slap you around, man. What not to do in your summary. Once again, not just a job description, benefits. So that's another thing. Your headline and your summary should talk about the benefits, not the features of working with you. Features are, I've been in business for 25 years and we do a great job and we're the best. And also hyperbole, like, generalization statements that we're the best and we have great customer service. Everybody says that. Why should I hire you? You need, once again, to be able to answer that. It should roll off your tongue. It should come in like, 3 seconds, right? It should be like a well-practiced elevator speech. And you need to have that information in your profile because people are looking for these things and looking for, would you like 5 to 15 new sales calls on your calendar every single week that I'm generating for you? And look back over here. I only had 19,000 followers back then a year ago. So your about section will also address your pain points, talk about the problems you solve. And that's another thing. People want to go on your profile or look at your content marketing and they want to know, what can you do as far as solving my problem? And so I talk about those all the time on my feed with my clients, right? The things that people want on LinkedIn now from your content marketing or your profile, and write this down again. They want to know how to do something, right? They want to know how to solve a problem. Or the third thing, they want to be entertained. So I'm creating let's say, for instance, I'm working on a brand new video for my clients. And let me put my share computer sound, make sure you guys can hear this over here. So this is just the very beginning of it. And this is called the day in the life of a CMO. Oh. Nope, that's the wrong one. Sorry about that. Here it goes.
I know I'm just a CFO, but a buddy of mine does these webinars, and he really swears by them. I know I'm in HR, but don't you think I'd make a great influencer? I had an idea for a viral video that we could put on TikTok.
So that's an actual video I'm making for a client right now is going to post, because if all you're posting on LinkedIn is buy my stuff, no one's going to give a shit. Honestly, no one's going to care about that at all. And so really, really important, you want to figure out some creative way of making your audience laugh. Like that video, it's going to be a funny video, right? Going to put a laugh track in the back over there and some other cool stuff in there. It'd be fun. So have fun with this, right? If all you're doing is saying, buy my shit, I don't give a shit about that. I want to know who you are as a person. I want to know what it's like to work with you. I want to know what kind of results you've achieved with other people. And if you can't bring that into your profile and the information you're sending in your messaging section or your videos you're creating or your polls you're doing, once again, other people that I'm training are doing that and they're going to steal your stuff. Okay? So next thing is experiences. So many people have asked me, if I have like 5 things to do in my company, should I create 5 LinkedIn profiles? And the answer is hell no. LinkedIn will kick you off, man, if you have 5 profiles or even 2 profiles. They're AI algorithm robots are traveling LinkedIn on a regular basis, looking for stuff to get people off the platform, like profanity and other 2 profiles, hence my get out of jail LinkedIn service, right? So what you want to do is you want to create multiple experiences. And what does that look like? It looks like this over here. So experience 1, experience 2, experiences are just the companies you have, what you do as far as services go, right? All these different things here. And let's say you're doing a campaign where you want to, highlight this business, right? My Lead Wizard business. But let's say I want to do a campaign where I want to maybe start doing some of my old website design services, like this one over here, right? I can change this and reorder my experiences on my profile up and down, right? I can change it like this over here and just move them around. Just drag them. Drag this one over here, maybe. This drags. Anyway, they drag, right? We're on Zoom. I don't know if you probably guys have seen that when you're on Zoom or Zoom call, things get much slower. But anyways, so don't have multiple profiles. Simply create multiple experiences, all professionally done, all with information, right? All these things over here. And yeah, just change it. Maybe drag the other one up and then change your messaging, change your sequencing, change whatever you got to change for yourself and change it that way. What's with someone put in the chat box over here? Perfect. Thank you very much, Denise. Appreciate your comment. So next thing is this is what it looks like, and I showed you my profile makeover page, but this is what it looks like when you have a new profile. So many people I see have this on LinkedIn, and when you should have the one on the right. So many people have this on LinkedIn when you see the one on the right. And another one here, Sharon was a client of mine, was a client of mine, owned a large construction company in California with all my California friends here. And she wanted to look more professional. So, once again, if you're spending, $30-40 million on a project and Sharon gets you from this profile, would you rather talk to her on this profile on the left or this profile on the right? Right? So that's why it's so important. It makes a big difference. Next thing people always ask me, do I need a company page? And the answer is yes, because it's almost expected to look professional, like having a website. So to create a new company page on LinkedIn, all you go is click on this for business over here, scroll down to the very bottom and click on create a company page. And then make sure that once your company page is done, you connect your company page to your personal profile. Usually does it automatically when you create it. But and that way when you have like this over here, you can always tell someone has not created a company page on LinkedIn when you see at the very top of their page, they have a blank or grayed out logo as opposed to a colored logo. I'm just waiting for my page to do its thing over here. I'll come back to it in a second. Yes, just wait. So I'll come back to that in a second and show you once it finally does its thing in the background here. Next thing is messaging. So how many of you have seen this beforehand? I'm sure all of you have seen it beforehand. Where you go to messaging on LinkedIn. Hopefully this will change the messaging right away. Just open a new tab here. I can. Oh, there it goes. It's switching to messaging. Okay, so we've all seen messages on LinkedIn where somebody is trying to sell you something in the connection message. Hell no, don't do it ever. No one wants to be pitched on LinkedIn. So another great takeaway for LinkedIn, write this down in big, big, bold letters. No one wants to be sold to on LinkedIn. They want to be helped. They want to be helped. And if you're going to give away free information, right? So this one over here. So, like I said beforehand, don't put any pitch in your first message and don't put any pitch in your second message either. If someone accepts your connection message or connection request on LinkedIn, don't say, thank you for accepting my connection request. Do you want to buy my shit? Because they'll never respond to you either. So here's back to my profile. And here's that little thing I showed you here. If you see this little logo where my mouse is hovering over by my Lead Wizard website thing over here, if it's gray, that means that's like the one below here. You haven't connected your company page or created a company page. And once again, it's just one of the things people are expecting to look professional. So the messaging. Yeah. So the messaging that works. And once again, if you guys stay to the very, very end, I'm going to send you one of my best value that I sell PDF messaging sequences PDF. So stay to the very end because I send everybody who stays to the very end, and I have my results on my Zoom thing to who stays at the very, very end here. I'll be sending you one of those as far as some other awesome PDFs and things at the very, very end here. So the things that work on LinkedIn in 2024 are offers of free advice or free service, right? I've done so many free profile audits for people over the years, probably thousands of them. But those three things have said people to come back to me afterwards saying, Al, you gave me that great profile makeover thing. You spent 30 minutes with me free of charge for video. I don't have time to do it myself. Can I hire you to do it? And that's so more free stuff to give away. I call it the giver's gain mentality. If you give before you ask, people will respect you and people will like you. So next thing is make yourself a resource for them by putting things like your website, blog page in your messaging with tips and things that can help them. The final thing is find common ground on their web page, on their profile, right? If you're messaging people, look at what they do a quick little search, even on your mobile phone. You can find common ground and get them to a conversation rather than trying to sell them the services, right? Here are some examples of profile headlines. I'm just going to put this into my thing here. This is it here. Give me a second. Just pop this into the thing as a free resource for you guys. There you go. You can go to that one and see some examples of great profile headlines. The next thing is, how do I rank on LinkedIn? So LinkedIn, this is the LinkedIn SSI score page. And I'll put this into the thing here. Everybody go here for now. For a second, please. Just click on the link. Open up your score. Most people I see have a score of 50 to 60, which is not great. My score is like 86 right now, which means LinkedIn is measuring what I'm doing on LinkedIn to figure out how well I'm doing on LinkedIn, establishing my personal brand, finding the right people to connect with, engaging with insights, and building relationships. And you can see I'm almost 25 in all three things. The hardest one is called engaging with insights. And why is this important? Why should you care? Because the higher your SSI score, guess what? The more you'll show up in people's searches on page one when someone's searching for your services or your key phrase on LinkedIn. It's another one of the big, big factors that goes in there. So how can you possibly raise your score? Great question, people. Thank you for asking it. The way you can, one of the greatest ways to raise your score is by engaging on other people's content, by sharing, commenting, liking people's content. That'll actually raise that engage with insight score. So if you're one of the people who expects people to engage in your content, but you never do that on anybody else's content, that's why one of the reasons your score is so low. And the higher your score, the better you're going to do on LinkedIn overall. So really, really important. The LinkedIn algorithm. That's something that I go deep into when I talk to my clients. And it's really, really important that you know that even though the LinkedIn reach has gone down, the results I've achieved are consistent, and actually reach on social media platforms have gone down consistently across all social media platforms. And the reason that is because guess what? They want you to pay for it. They want you to buy ads. They want you to boost your ads and boost your posts and boost this. They want to make money off of you. But if you are smart about your organic reach and your content marketing, then you can get great results even by getting out great content marketing. And I even have a content marketing, content boosting thing, I think. I'm not sure if I finally put it on my, here it is, content marketing and boosting. Looking for someone to do your content marketing and then boost that content for you so you get like 20, 30 likes and 20, 30 comments on every single one of your posts consistently. This is what I do for my clients also, because once again, it affects the algorithm, right? So, it can be really expensive to have someone do your content marketing for you, but my prices are very, very reasonable, creating videos and content for you. And in fact, on my Done For You service, I create 8 pieces of static content every single month for my clients and 1 to 2 videos like this. And I'm not trying to pitch you on my page over here. I came to this page for a reason, to show you the kind of content you should be creating for yourself. So the content that I feel is most valuable is content where you're in your video, like this one over here.
Strategy that can transform your LinkedIn journey. Welcome to Unlocking Success, the power of joint venturing and collaboration on LinkedIn. LinkedIn.
So that's one of the kinds of videos you create, but I took it to a next level because I wanted to do something. One of the questions I asked myself was a long time ago, for my own stuff and also my client stuff, is what can I do differently to get people's attention on LinkedIn? I started working with animated videos by learning how to use animation software like this one over here.
If you're going to be successful on LinkedIn in 2024, these are the things you need to know.
Your brand is your identity. We help you build a strong brand on LinkedIn that is memorable and stands out among competitors. Our team is always there to support.
So another takeaway on LinkedIn is people want to be entertained. And if you can create some really cool shit like that on LinkedIn and get people's attention, your content marketing will do very, very well. And it'll build your following and also will get even better, right? So if you need help with all those things, right, I'm here for you to help you out. So think about the things you want to think about as far as content marketing on LinkedIn, will affect the algorithm is what the question you want to ask yourself, what problems do I hear when clients hire me initially over and over again? Can I create a video to not necessarily solve the whole problem, but talk about the problem and maybe give a couple of pointers about how you can solve that problem, right? Also, personal stuff on LinkedIn. Like I've done videos. Let me just find one here for a second, maybe. Let's see here for me, Alan Fine. And I've done stuff on LinkedIn like videos. Let's see here. One of the things I did was the power of being vulnerable, or actually how I broke my leg on LinkedIn, or exercise essential to business success. Here's one here. Right. So this one here. I'll show you this one here.
Out of all the non-business things I do in my life, exercise is probably the most important. Exercise provides clarity of the mind and spirit and body. How many times in your business life?
So what does exercise have to do with selling my services? Absolutely nothing at all. But I have a pimped out gym in my basement and I've been working out since I was 13. I'm passionate about it, right? And by doing things on LinkedIn that don't necessarily talk about my business necessarily, but other things, people like what they see, right? The content marketing is very, very important. I recommend you only post 2 or 3 times a week because people who post every single day, it doesn't give the algorithm time to catch up, right? Also, when you do post, click on the little drop-down box over here and make sure your post is set to anyone. I did that a couple of times for my clients where I didn't realize they were sending it to a private or a group, and I posted to a group for them instead. So let's see here. The best thing to post is video content, right? And then let's talk about ChatGPT now. So anybody out there who wants to give me a prompt, like what do you want ChatGPT to write an article on? Just give me a quick thing, a quick like 3-word thing on what you want to see something written on ChatGPT, like write a post on LinkedIn about marketing, or write a post about, changing your furnace filter, or anything else at all. In fact, I even got a prompt here, bypassing probate. Okay, so here we go, Pamela. Thanks very much. You're going to get your thing done here, and someone will be sent to you afterwards. I will. Okay, so here is this. Watch this. because my clients tell me writing content on LinkedIn is one of the challenges they have. In the tone of fun, but professional, write me a LinkedIn post on look at that. Isn't that freaking cool? And you can even do things like tell it to, put emojis and things in there for yourself. You can do things like telling it to only write a article that has a certain amount of characters. And, by doing this, it'll open your mind and give you a foundation to start from, because I'm not sure if you could come out with this little video over here in 30 seconds, but most people, including myself, probably can't. You got to think about that. But now I can take this afterwards and I can edit it. I can take it and do what I want to it afterwards and change it around. And trust me, I've been using this to create scripts for my videos. I've been doing this to create ideas for what to post, as far as how to create a post. I've been using this for a lot of things recently, and it really makes a big difference. And then you can click on regenerate. And it'll as you do this more and more often, you can see my other stuff over here, right? You'll be training it as far as what you like and what you don't like. So I think this is like the cat's meow. And I know a lot of things about AI are up in the air right now, but I'm not trying to take over the world, to try to do this over here. Here is the anatomy of a perfect LinkedIn post. Create a little video for you guys to watch.
Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the algorithm in relation to content marketing as far as text and image posts. This PDF that I found on the internet was by a guy named Richard Vanderbloom. Kudos to him and his team. Amazing guy. Look him up on LinkedIn and follow him. Anyways, text and image posts, as you can see, ideal length 500 or 900 to 1200 characters. If you're going to do a slider, PDF slider, about 12 slides, right? Good place for that is Canva.
So I won't show you the whole video because we're running out of time here, but if you stay to the very end, I'll send this to you. Okay. Here's some other videos I've done beforehand.
You're not using LinkedIn event platform and it's costing you money.
So what's important about this video over here? I'm not going, hi, this is Alan Fine. I'm from Lead Wizard. And like, you have like 3 or 4 seconds to catch someone's attention in your video. And if you put all that stuff beforehand, people are not going to go on there. Here's my one I did for my LinkedIn jail video I did.
Help, 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 help. I've been put in LinkedIn jail and I can't get out.
And once again, here's another video for Pixar style.
Welcome to 2024. Our LinkedIn webinar is going to elevate you in your marketing and lead generation efforts in Q1. This is a live Zoom webinar. 100% free from the...
Cool, eh? Next thing is, if you don't think content marketing is that important, look at the views. These are actual screenshots from other people's content marketing for my clients I've done. And look at some of these, how many things people have done here. 26,000 views, 27,000 views, 43,000 views. So why is that important? Because we want to turn your LinkedIn profile not only into an outbound lead generation machine, but an inbound lead generation machine. Outbound is you sending messages out to people on a regular basis and hoping someone of them replies to you. Inbound is creating great content and having people from your post contact you and try to hire you. Also, if you don't think that is really important, look up Bridget Hassian. She has over 4 million followers, and I happen to be one of her 30,000 first connections on LinkedIn. So I met Bridget a long time ago. How did she do this amazing feat, which I'm trying to duplicate myself on a regular basis? By video creation. By video creation and telling great stories that touch your heart, that make you cry. I'm not going to go over those today because once again, we're running out of time here. I'll make sure I have a good Q&A at the very, very end. Make sure you have the rich media on your profile, which looks like this, right? all these things over here, having all these videos over here, and have people be able to look at who I am and what I do, right? All this cool stuff over here, right? Very, very important, because if you have these things on your profile and the other person doesn't, guess what? They're going to choose you. Messaging people, like I said, don't try to sell on your connection message. Don't try to sell on the first message afterwards. Don't send these spammy, salesy messages out, because that's one of the reasons. If you're doing that, no one's replying to you. People want to be helped out. Ask leading questions. Offer help and advice for free. The event platform, once again, edutainment, trying to help people out by putting on these workshops on LinkedIn and giving away as much information for free as possible, because guess what? It works. I'm doing it. This is not hyperbole. This is not my saying that, oh, you should try this out because maybe it'll work. It works because I've tested it out here already. So what can you do to make your LinkedIn lead generation and marketing work for you? Once again, the three things that people have is, or the mistakes they made and the problems they have, is they had no existing lead flow. Do you have a system for LinkedIn? Are you doing things willy-nilly? Are you going on there 1 week and not consistent the next week? Do you have a non-existent warm-up system, right? The stats are that 3% of people who see your content marketing or see your marketing message at one time, 1 to 3% want to buy from you right away. 7% want to buy from you within right away to 2 weeks. 30%, 2 weeks to 6 months. 30%, 6 months to 2 years. And last 30% are not interested in your stuff. They'll never buy from you. But everybody's in a dogfight for 1 to 3%. Everybody else, 99.9% of people, are missing out on sending out a long-term messaging sequence to the 67% of other people that everybody else is ignoring. So to correct the 3 mistakes, we can do a custom LinkedIn prescription and profile redesign for your profile, making sure that you have a great profile, getting a system for creating new connections, your content marketing, your messaging, and making sure you have a conversion process that will allow you to get referrals and people sending you people also. And the plans and systems for having a clear plan of action that supports you and your company. And how many leads do you need? Well, how about 5 to 15 every single week? This is a customized prescription on LinkedIn. And has a plan of action and has a sales plan. And here's some clients of mine that give me some testimonials. David Crane, 85K in sales on LinkedIn very, very quickly. And this guy over here, one of my best clients, Tom Matson, doing $30 million because he's a custom woodworking company who sold to home builders and got some amazing deals off of, I think, 4 or 5 different home building companies. I think one deal was worth like $10 million. So do you need help creating an amazing, outstanding, converting profile? Would you like someone else for change to copyright your profile section? Because when you try to think about what you say for yourself, but you don't know, even using ChatGPT, you don't want prompts to use. Would you like someone to help you come up with the messaging and the automation and everything else? Also, we didn't even touch upon memberships on LinkedIn. There are 4 kinds of paid memberships on LinkedIn. Do you need one? Yes, you do. Which one you should use? Well, contact me afterwards. I'll be happy to go over that with you. Also, there are some little known features that I use for my clients that get massive engagement and conversions at the end, because once again, people have told me people are accepting my connection request. I'm messaging them, but no one's getting back to me. So how would you like to know one little cool little tip and trick that'll change that overnight? And then lastly, it's about trust, right? And once again, I got a new recommendation the other day. So it's 140 recommendations right now on LinkedIn. And here is my content, or here's my information on how to connect with me or talk to me. And now I am going to let anybody who wants to come in here now. And and last thing I have one more little thing for you guys to do. Anybody who fills out this form, where is my last thing over here? Okay, I got a thing here, a feedback form, which I'd love to have you guys possibly fill out for me. Here it is, Google Forms. Okay, So fill this out here, and I'll be happy to send you all that stuff I told you about beforehand. And now, ask me questions. Open your mic and ask me any questions you want to, either in the chat box or open mic. Somebody must have a question for me. Pamela,
Yeah.
Tyler, anybody? Antonio, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes. So in terms of engagement, you're saying you want to make sure you get decent engagement. Like, what is that? How do you quantify that?
As far as on your posts, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. I would say like 20 likes, 20 comments, a couple of reshares, and maybe not all the reshares all the time, but at least 20 likes, 20 comments. That's decent engagement. And unfortunately, I see most people getting like 1 or 2 likes, 1 or 2 comments. And that happens over and over again. You're training the algorithm that no one cares about your content, and that that people really need to, understand that if people are not engaging on your content, look at your content and look at the content on LinkedIn on the feed that where people are engaging onto, right? And see, try to dissect those pieces of content.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect, Antonio. Anybody else?
I have a question about recommendations. You said
Sure.
the recommendations, we should contact our first level
Connections
of
only. Yeah, you can only ask.
connections.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can only connect first level connection, but don't worry about just contacting customers. Contact associates, contact friends on LinkedIn. Have people get a recommendation about your character and who you are, not just about the work you do. Because you want, as my thing, and I did this on a webinar a long time ago, and people said, well, shouldn't you just get high quality recommendations? Well, if you have 2 high quality recommendations, or you have 20 and you only have 2 high quality recommendations in there, people will see the number 20 there. And the whole thing is, psychology wise, are you going to buy a thing on Amazon that has 2,000, 4.8 star recommendations, or are you going to buy from someone who has 20, right?
Right.
I see you're shaking your head
thank
up and down,
you.
Marion. Yeah, Marion, like me, goes on Amazon. Yeah, anybody else have a question? Someone else about to ask one? Go ahead.
What? Yes, I do. What's your opinion about the value of going after top voice and other accolades on the LinkedIn system?
Absolutely. Why not? Right? You might as well attract some influencers who might be helping you out. And that's another thing also on LinkedIn. I'll give you 1 second, Mindy. Another thing on LinkedIn is that while you're doing your marketing on LinkedIn and prospecting, don't just prospect for clients. Prospect also for joint venture partners on LinkedIn who you can talk to, and you can come to some agreement that when they have a webinar, you'll send your list to link their webinar, but when you do a webinar, they'll send their list to your webinar. And guess what? Once they send your list to the webinar and you get them on your LinkedIn event page, they're yours, right? You got them. You can get their email addresses and stuff like that. So really, really important.
Thank you.
No problem. Who would have had their hand up again? Yeah, go ahead.
Mindy.
Mindy, go ahead. Mindy next, and then you, Mujabari. Okay,
How long do you think it takes a new business owner to start having a steady flow of clients?
All depends on how much time you're putting into your LinkedIn profile. When I do my marketing or my done for you program, usually I say 30 days, because it takes 30 days for me to redo their profile and get some of the new messages out there and create some content people will like. So, it's like building a house, right? You don't see the real results of the house until you have the foundation done, and then everything you start seeing above ground. But look all the work that happened on the bottom, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. Next.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. No problem. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask you one question. Like, all the things and content you have shared is amazing, but it's more of like, if clients are approaching us towards our profile, or the profile is getting much higher, can you just elaborate or tell me, like, if as a profile you want to approach high quality leads, what would be like the best strategy to do it?
Well, once again, make sure your profile looks amazing, because if you do all that work and you're doing marketing on LinkedIn and someone goes to your profile and goes, wow, that's like terrible, right? So outstanding profile first. And then, I always tell everybody here, the first initial connection message, and the first initial connection message on LinkedIn is the only message that has a character count limit. It's 300 characters, not words, but 300 characters, and you make it very vanilla. You know, it's something like, "Hi, LinkedIn suggested I connect with you. We both have similar interests. I'd love to have you in my network." And then your name
Okay.
afterwards. Something very, very similar. Because we've all seen the messages on LinkedIn also, that when you do that, and people can hint. You got a hint of, oh, the second I say yes to this person, they're gonna try to sell me something. You can tell sometimes, right, when someone does that in their messaging.
Mm.
It's not totally pitchy, but it's kind of sort of pitchy. Or they tell you in the message what they do for their services, and they can kind of go, oh, the second I say yes, they're gonna try to sell me something. So don't do that. Keep it very, very simple. In the second message, say something to the effect of, "Hey, Bob, thank you for accepting. Oh, and by the way, very important, write this down here. Spell the name right. I can't tell you how many times I've had to correct my clients or people on LinkedIn. It's Allan. And while people might think, oh, well, what's the big deal, Al? Your name's powerful. It has power. It has meaning. Get their name right. Because if you don't, they're going to look at you and go, oh, they spell my name right. They don't give a shit about me. I'm a number.
Mm.
Right? So.
Okay. And do you think that the best way to approach is to the, some hiring managers as well? What position do you think that would be the best in a company to approach towards
Look
a
at your
client?
look at your previous results. I'll tell my clients when they're on me or on my thing afterwards. Look at the previous results to see
Okay.
what has worked. Like, who have you? So when I do my thing with my clients, I ask them two questions. Show me everybody's LinkedIn profile who you have, let's say in the last year, either hired you or talked to you. And sometimes the person who you talk to first isn't the person who signs the contract. So you want to make sure you have like two different profile things here. Maybe one person you contact, but also the person that you that actually pays the bills also. And then reverse engineer that. I'm really great at reverse engineering people's profiles on LinkedIn to find my clients more of the same.
Okay. I would like to just ask a last question. Like, when you're following up in a message towards a client, how many days should you take a break to follow up to them again?
So if they're messaging you, no time at all.
If we had a conversation before and he needs to get back to me, and for some reasons like days have passed that I need to follow back
just
towards
follow up, say, hey Dave, let's hoping you're having a great day. Just something like that. Don't even say, have you made a decision? Just say something like, hey, here's a post, or here's a picture to make you smile, and send them something in their thing that looks, a beautiful day, puppies, right, flowers, whatever, right? Show them. So once again, show people you care, that you're not a number, that if you work with me, I'm going to take great care of you. I was working with a client the other day, and I called him at 10 o'clock in the evening. Just, hey, I was working on something. If you're up, get back to me. And he texted me right back right away. And it says, you're up, you're working on my stuff at 10 p.m. It's like, yeah, I'm the kind of guy who will bend over backwards for my clients. I'll be up to midnight sometimes working on your stuff, because that's how much I care about my clients.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Next, anybody else at all? Go on once, go on twice. Okay. Well, you guys stayed all at the end. Look for your email in the next couple of hours. I'll be sending you some great stuff. And once again, my Calendly and my stuff's in the chat box. Love to talk to you. Like I say in my messaging to people on LinkedIn, I'm one of those nerds that likes to talk to all my first connections at least once. Book a meeting with me. If you're not interested in my services, I don't give a shit. I'd like to talk to people around the world. I think LinkedIn, one of the things that makes LinkedIn so amazing is because we have people from all over the world, from India, from San Francisco, from UK sometimes, from all over the world. It's amazing. It blows me away. Anyways, guys,
Thank you, Allan.
Don't forget to tell people how to save the chat so they have.
Oh, okay. Sure. I'll be sending the chat out anyways, because I clicked on my my thing here. Hopefully I did that where I have my breakdown. But yeah, the chat box on the right hand side, it has, I think at the very top, you see 3 dots at the very top of the chat. No, it wasn't there, not the top there, but there's 3 dots somewhere on the chat, and you can download the whole chat. I'll do it myself and I'll send it to everybody as far as the whole thing goes, or everybody do it yourself even. I'll just save it myself because I know that Zoom generates that for me automatically. So don't even worry about it. I'll just send it to you anyways as part of the attachment.
Thank you.
That was changed recently too, because it used to be at the bottom and I thought they just quit doing it. And for a long time I couldn't, because I always,
Where is it now?
it's
At the very top,
It was at the bottom. It's at the top.
the
and those
3 dots.
Yeah, the
The
little
three dots.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm clicking on that.
You
Oh,
just
save
click
chat. There
on
it is.
it.
Okay. Yeah.
No,
I
click
saved.
on
I
the three
just
dots.
saved the jot. I did already. So
And
yeah,
Alan, can you send me that chat GPT response you got?
yeah, for sure, no problem. I'm happy to.
Thank
Just
you.
put your email address in the chat box right now. Okay.
Okay,
I'll just copy
here
it
it
from here.
goes.
Yeah. And for everybody else, have a great day. Thank you so much
Thank
for being
you.
here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
This was
Yeah,
very
I'm waiting for
interesting.
Pamela's
Yeah, it's
thing
in
and
there.
closing down. Okay. Don't
Oh,
see it
wait,
there.
no, it's not. I got, hold on. It went to,
Thank you.
somebody.
Yeah, somebody else in there. Somebody else got your email address.
Yeah. Here
Too
it
funny.
is.
There
There
it
it
goes.
is.
Great. Thank you,
Okay,
Pamela.
thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.